Hello, art lovers! If you thought the world of art was all about brushstrokes and sad landscapes, welcome to the universe of Giuseppe Arcimboldo, the king of Renaissance salads. Ah, Vertumnus, what a spectacle! Completed in 1591, it's the painting that made food a true work of art. Literally. Imagine walking through a museum, browsing boring portraits of nobles in heavy clothes. Then there it is, a face made of fruits and vegetables. And we're not talking about a day at the farmer's market, but a portrait of the Holy Roman Emperor, Rudolf II. Yes, him, the most powerful man in Europe at the time, portrayed as a kind of botanical scarecrow. Why? Well, if you're the emperor and decide to commission your portrait from a guy like Arcimboldo, you expect something alternative, right? Or maybe Rudolf was just in search of a particularly motivated dietitian. Whatever the reason, the result is a bizarre and, surprisingly, symbolic work of art. But who the heck is Vertumnus? For those who haven't brushed up on Roman mythology recently, and who can blame you, Vertumnus is the god of metamorphosis, seasonal changes, and apparently the dietary trends of the time. In the legend, Vertumnus falls in love with Pomona, goddess of orchards, and to win her over, he takes on different forms. The portrait of Rudolf as Vertumnus, then, isn't just one of Arcimboldo's crazy ideas. It's also a statement of power and transformation. Rudolf II wanted to be seen as the one who controls nature's cycles, who brings prosperity and abundance, like the god who governs the seasons. Every detail of this painting is a reference to nature and seasonality. Vertumnus's face is made of flowers, fruits, and vegetables. The ear, it's a corn cob. The lips, 2 cherries. The chin, a turnip. And no, it's not a metaphor for politics. It's literally made like that. But wait. It's not just a random collage of foods thrown together like in a school experiment. Every element represents a season: spring flowers, summer fruits, autumn grains, and winter roots. Arcimboldo created a portrait that is also a calendar, where Vertumnus, is at the center of nature's cycle. It's as if Rudolf were saying, "Look, I control spring and winter, and yes, also tomatoes." Okay, but let's talk about the real mystery. Why would someone commission such a portrait? Rudolf II was known for being a bit eccentric, to put it mildly. He ruled an empire but spent more time collecting bizarre objects like alchemical instruments, taxidermy animals, and, of course, portraits of himself made of vegetables. Some say he was obsessed with alchemy, and this painting was a sort of symbolic talisman reflecting his esoteric power. After all, if you can transform yourself into a god of the seasons, what's stopping you from turning lead into gold? Others, more simply, think Rudolf just had a great sense of humor, or maybe a dietary obsession. After all, the royal diet wasn't exactly known for its lightness. Yet behind all this vegetable oddity lies a certain elegance. Arcimboldo didn't just make strange portraits for the sake of it. In an era where control over nature was a symbol of power, this portrait expresses Rudolf's dominance over all that grows and blooms. It's a subtle message hidden behind the mask of zucchini. The secret of Arcimboldo. Was he a genius or a madman? Arcimboldo himself is an enigma. Was he really a master or a prankster who managed to sell a couple of still lifes under the guise of art? Did his works leave a lasting legacy? In a way, yes, although no one has ever truly continued his fruit portrait school with the same success. But it's undeniable that he influenced later movements, such as Surrealism, with artists like Dalí who would have loved his weirdness. What we do know is that Giuseppe Arcimboldo knew how to play with perception, using his technical skill to create images that are both serious and playful, unsettling and comical. A bit like Rudolf II, serious emperor by day, the personification of the fruit market by night. In the end, the painting Vertumnus is one of Arcimboldo's most iconic works, and a perfect example of how art can turn the ordinary into the sublime, food into politics, and an emperor into a seasonal soup. Mysterious, funny, and yet deeply symbolic. It reminds us that greatness doesn't just come from swordplay or political strategy, but also from being able to transform yourself into a sculpture of cauliflowers and cherries. And in case you're wondering if Rudolf was really satisfied with resembling a basket of vegetables, well, let's just say Vertumnus has survived the centuries, even more than many modern diets.